Hi all. Nowadays different people are using ChatGPT for their very own purposes, like really lots of capabilities. So I didn't have a look at this tool, at this fantastic tool, obviously, I need to say, for like since it has been introduced, I don't know, a couple of years ago maybe. And now finally I had a look and I realized that there is probably a way how I would like to use it. And in particular, I find it extremely helpful when, like, the casual way of doing things, you're getting a question, you googling the answer, like programming question, obviously, like googling the answer, then go into Stack Overflow question or answer, seeing examining the solution, then just grabbing the code, like out altering, like putting this and copy paste into your project if needed. Well, need to be careful with that, obviously, but anyway, and that's the way to go. But with ChatGPT, you can just ask, instead of asking Google directly, you can ask ChatGPT like how to accomplish a certain task or the certain method of a certain class within the given library, any programming languages, any frameworks, whatever, and it gives you, like in most cases, like working code that you can already use, and just can give you a hint what to do and so on. But well, the traditional interface, the web-based interface as well, obviously it's quite cool, like really nice. But I was wondering, what if I just open an additional terminal window, so I don't need to spend resources on my laptop, which is quite old, for like running the entire web browser. And if I'm very focused at developing a sort of application or making a YouTube tutorial, I think I tried this, but I'm about to try this like in the nearest future. So say I need a reference to some like documentation, like to how to read the code, what's the method or whatever. So I can just type in the question into the terminal window, get the answer, copy paste it from there to my project, and get done with the code. So that's what I actually want to come up with. So, and that's the exact question I'm about to be asking ChatGPT now. So we'll ask it to how to interact with it via Python, and then we'll write a simple Python script to actually achieve that goal. So without further ado, let's get started. So let me create a file. I should have done this before, but yeah. So just create a file called chatgpt.py, and we open it. All right, and here I just ask how can I run ChatGPT in say in Linux terminal, or let's not stick just to Linux. I'm on Linux, but this should be working on Windows as well. Let's say via Python. Yeah. So I've been asking this question a few times before. To run ChatGPT via Python, you can use OpenAI's official Python library called OpenAI. Okay, great. You can need to install it, get your API key. Okay, so here is the link to get the key. So platform openai.com, account API keys. Create new secret key. You create, you get one, you will then use it. API references, some interesting additional documentation, and the modals, like the modal that is presented here, is not really like relevant. So this is quite an outdated text. DaVinci 003 is quite outdated. So the newer one is GPT 3.5 Turbo. So this one, like both for text and for codes. So this is probably the latest one. I didn't yet test it, so we'll now give it a try. Yeah. So and I would also like to, so this key, in order not to expose the key, I will export. I've already exported this as the environmental variable, so we'll use that instead. So how to do this? Again, like not to expose my very own key. So I can say export OpenAI. Well, this is specific to Linux. You can do this somehow on Windows as well. You cannot be bothered with this. You can just paste the key here into your source code. That's also the way to go, but the way I do it, so OpenAI API API token, or what's that called, API key, then equals, and then enter your key, hit enter, and then you can reference this using os.get environmental variable, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we'll ask ChatGPT. It's very useful because, like, I don't remember by heart something, but I know the concept, so I can do this. Okay, so let's get step by step. So install the OpenAI library first, and also here I want to cd to my desktop. Yeah, we have my ChatGPT, so Python 3 chatgpt.py. Nothing there so far. Okay. So I say sudo pip3 install OpenAI. Let's have a look. It should install the library. Well, literally what the library does, it just goes through the authentication process, I believe, and then, well, you can actually use the token directly even using the CURL, so you don't necessarily need to do this by Python. But yeah, this is also quite helpful. Okay, so we've done the first step, then this one, so copy and paste. Now I want to ask, so how to get environmental variable on Linux, and it should give me an answer. Echo variable name, okay, in Python. Okay, os environmental and get, and I need to import os as well, so I say import os, yes, and OpenAI key is going to be equal to OpenAI API key. So that's the exact variable name I've just done by the export. So like just what I shown you. It's not stored because it didn't like press enter, but anyway. So now I'm going to be using like this key is going to be equal to what I've stored as the environmental variable here. So well, this is good, so let's drop back to the particular one. Yeah, so use create method to generate response from ChatGPT model, provide the model parameters for ChatGPT. Yeah, it just doesn't, yeah, let's specify. So write a Python script to chat with ChatGPT in command line. It will then create a loop and specify the exact, like, yeah, this is what I've been looking for. Yeah, this is exactly what I've been looking for. So your key modal, yeah, let's actually take all this stuff here and copy. Yeah, monkey see, monkey do principle, just copy paste things. Okay, so let's walk through the code. So we specify the modal here. Yeah, it already does the 3.5 turbo. Good. Chat with ChatGPT, so creating response. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why it uses. So it's actually, let's try this chat modal instead. Yeah, it should be this one. Prompt tokens temperature is to randomize the like to make the random responses. N1, don't remember what the N1 means, it just gives an explanation. Yeah, I was given an explanation. I don't remember what the N1 means. Okay, modal, chat modal. So yeah, it's actually, yeah, I shouldn't be altering this really, because the modal is still here. Yeah, I'm not quite sure, to be honest, but so the modal and the engine might be a little bit different, but yeah, I don't know. Well, interestingly, that here it uses this sort of modal or an engine. Not quite sure what's the difference between these two. Anyway, and to quit to exit. Yeah, let's see. So it gets the text from the response, from the very first response available. So there are several responses that should be available. Temperature. Yeah, let's ask him to explain parameters of create method. Yeah, sometimes it explains, sometimes it does not. I don't remember. So, okay, engine. This parameter specifies the language model to use for generating completion. For ChatGPT, it should be this one, the default for the most recent model. Alternatively, DaVinci 002 for older model. Well, okay. So prompt. Input text or conversation history to the modal. Says the starting point for generating the completion. You can include user message, system instruction, or any contact. Oh, that's interesting. Max tokens. This parameter controls the length of response. Good. Temperature. The randomness of the generated output. Yes. Makes more diverse and creative, while lower makes it more focused and deterministic. Yeah, that's cool. So n parameter specifies number of responses to generate by default. N is equal to 1. So one response. Stop parameter allows to specify custom stop sequence. Okay, modal specifies the modal. Okay, so that should be fairly enough to explain things. And yeah, without further ado, let's actually try to run this ChatGPT. Okay. Start chatting and to quit to exit. Hi ChatGPT, what is your current model and engine? Let's see. Whoa! Cannot specify both model and engine. Wow, this is interesting. Yeah, I probably need to add some error handling. Okay. What's your model? What's going on here? Interesting. Cannot specify. Yeah, let's ask him what's wrong with this, because I have no idea, to be honest. I have no idea. There was an error in the parameters provided. In the newer version, you should specify the modal parameter instead of engine parameter. Okay, so you don't need this engine thing here. And put it here. That's probably the reason. So let's give it another try. Okay, what's model are you currently using? This is a chat model and not supported in the completion endpoint. Well, that's interesting. I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure. Well, okay. If you have enough patience, you can just keep copy-pasting this responses and errors until it just tries to do something with them. It seems there was an error related to using the correct endpoint for the chat-based models. The OpenAI API introduced a separate endpoint. To resolve this issue, the code to use, here is an updated code. Well, this is interesting. I'm really wondering, so probably I should just have a look at, yeah, something that is specific here. Well, I have no idea. I have no idea, to be... Okay, hold on a sec. Just before that, I try to specify the engine. Okay, just say hello. I don't know. Nope, doesn't work. Okay. Okay, so let's replace stuff. Paste. Okay, can you, let's say, what model are you currently using? Okay, so it doesn't answer for some unknown reason, but anyway, okay, so can you write some code for me? Yeah, I'm wondering, so it would just give me the entire response or what? Okay. Yeah. And it's just hanging for some reason. Interesting. Okay. Let's say how to, again, the same question, how to interact with ChatGPT via Python. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. So does it wait until the very end of, I don't know, until it gets completed or what? A list of messages comprising the conversation so far. Example Python code. Yeah, I'll probably should have a look at some complete things here. Role user content and this prompt. So whatever I put in, so this is the input line, I believe. So did you? Oh, it did provide the answer, just takes time. Okay, so first you need to install OpenAI library. Okay, import the library authentication. Yes, it really seems like helpful assistant. Yeah. extracting the reply. Yeah, well actually, say cool, I accept that. Okay, let's say for instance, write Notepad clone with Python and Tkinter. I'm wondering about the parameters. Modal. So it just doesn't specify any other but these parameters. Why that system one is there? I'm not quite sure. Example without a system message. So, for example, to ask Modal to explain asynchronous programming in style of Parent Blackbird, we can structure conversation as follows. System content, you're a helpful assistant, okay. Temperature 0. Response choice message. So what's the difference in this system message? Okay, typically a conversation will start with a system message that tells the assistant how to behave. Okay, followed by altering user and assistant messages. But you are not required to follow this format. Okay. System messages. Okay, system message. The system message can be used to prime the assistant with different personalities or behavior. Okay. Be aware that ChatGPT, the GPT 3.5 Turbo, does not generally pay as much attention to the system message as GPT-4. Okay, we recommend placing important instructions in the user message instead. Some developers have found success in continually moving system messages near the end of the conversation to keep the modal attention from drifting away as conversation get longer. Okay, so can you explain how fractions work? System, you're friendly, helpful teacher. You explain concept. And just not scrolling. Yeah, so it just alters the behavior, basically. Okay, so I don't know. What if I just go with if I just don't provide this at all? User content. Well, on the other hand, yeah, on the other hand, we can be sticking to this still. Okay, so did you? Okay, he did provide some code for me. Yeah, spaces instead of tabs. This is cool. So yeah, I just created some code for me. Simple Notepad clone uses Python Tkinter library. Save the code in Python file, run it, and you have a simple Notepad clone with this basic functionality. You can open, save files, undo, redo, edit, cut, copy, paste text, and create new files. Well, sounds really amazing. Let's give it a try, basically. Let's give it a try. Copy, and let's create a new file. Let's call it Notepad. Notepad.py. And let's run new tab notepad.py. Okay. Whoa, Notepad clone. Can write some text. Okay, file, open. Let's try like desktop txt. It only sticks to txt files. Okay. Undo, redo. So is the undo and redo multiple or single? Undo, undo. Whoa. Seems like a multiple undo, redo. Cool. Text files. So let's make it all files. And hopefully I can open. Whoa. Not really. Oh, that's the save file. Let's make it all files. File open. Yeah. ChatGPT code, for instance. And yeah, so far, so good. So we have this exact sort of thing. Yeah, this is really amazing. So yeah, from now on, what we can do, we can actually use ChatGPT here in the command line to assist whatever project we're working on. Okay, cool. Seems like the editor you've provided works like a charm. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm glad to hear the editor is working well. Yeah. Okay, so quit and we're done. Well, okay guys, this is it from my side. So we've just created this tiny little program to chat with ChatGPT in the Linux terminal. This should be working on Windows as well, using the Python code that has indeed been created by ChatGPT on its own. So yeah, give it a try, and yeah, it's really fun to play around with. Yeah, that's it from my side. See you later and cheers.